What's going on, everybody? Alex here, Nickens Line of Landscape. In today's video, we're going to be building our leaf box. This is a question that we have gotten a lot through YouTube and Instagram on how we set up our leaf equipment, and mainly people just wanting to see the construction of the box and I guess how we go through the process of determining how we're going to build our box. So today we're going to walk you through that process. We also got a couple of new pieces of equipment that we're going to be running this fall. We'll show you those and give you kind of the walk around of what our fall setup's going to look like. We've already been working in the shop here for a little while, so we got a jump start, but we haven't started any construction, and I wanted to grab the camera and walk you guys through all this stuff. So Nick's out here doing some cutting and some welding, and I was cutting some wood and kind of getting that prepped up. So like I said, I'll show you what we got going on here. Whoa, these glasses are pretty tinted. Ignore the glasses, guys. But before we get into the new equipment, I want to show you the setup that we are thinking. So here's our dump trailer. It's a 7-foot by 14-foot. It's got 2-foot sides. And our plan is to run an additional 4-foot up. So as you can see, we got a bunch of 2x4s over there. We got some 4x8 sheets here. But we're gonna build these sides up another 4 foot, so we'll be 6 foot tall. Like I said, 14 by 7 trailer, so that'll hold a lot of leaves. So 2 years ago, this was pretty much the same setup that we ran. It'll be a little bit upgraded from what that was, but essentially the same thing. It'll be 6 foot walls on this exact same trailer. But we tried last year to have a box on the back of our truck, which was okay. Where we live, we deal with a lot of really big, really old trees, so they're dropping a lot of leaves. So some of these cleanups, you're hauling off a boatload of leaves, and simply put, the truck just isn't enough space. So we are going to lose the flexibility of being able to have a machine with us at all times, but most days, or most times we're doing leaf cleanup, we try to schedule it to where we have a full day of work. As you guys know, the leaf cleanups will just kind of trickle in really all the way through the year. They kind of never stop for us. February is usually a little bit slow, but we get a lot in December and a lot in January, just random calls, and we definitely try to take care of those customers. So we try to set it up to where we have a full day's worth of work, and we'll just bring 2 trucks and we'll have all the equipment that we need. And really, to set it up to where you do have all the equipment you need, that's kind of what has to happen. You can only haul so much on one trailer. So this is the setup that we're gonna run this year. I think it's gonna work out best for us, for what we do and for the way we run things. So now I'll show you guys what we're gonna be mounting on this trailer. Here she is, guys. This is our new loader. It's a Billy Goat. 37 horse EFI Briggs engine on it with a 12-inch hose. This bad boy will eat some leaves. So right now, as you can see, she's mounted on the trailer. We're gonna be taking it off the trailer, but I did want to buy it this way just for future, for down the road. I wanted to buy it configured this way, but I pretty much knew right off the bat that it was gonna be coming off this trailer. So all that holds it on is a few bolts down here. Same thing on this side, a couple more bolts over here. So we'll just take those guys off and it'll lift right off and just be a typical skid mount loader. Only thing that we're gonna have to do, I think, is either do some cutting and some configuring up here, or we're gonna have to just cut a nice sized hole in the back of the gate. Not sure how that's gonna work out yet, but everything else is just like a typical skid mount loader. So should work out really nice for us. The next piece I'm gonna show you is something I'm super excited about. This one we're gonna be demoing for the next few months and see what we can do with it. Here you have it, the Hurricane Z3000 blower. This one also comes with the Vanguard engine. This one's not the EFI, it's a carbureted 35 horsepower. So this thing will flat out move some air. I showed a little bit on these in a previous video, but I can show you again. And I did mention how this one and the Ferris are basically the exact same unit. So if you're looking at one of these, or if you don't have a Billy Goat dealer and you have a Ferris dealer, you can get hooked up with one of these guys. But very straightforward, choke, throttle. Your parking brake is in your hand lever here. So all you gotta do is push them down and let her rip. And then right here, you have your gate opening. So you have a chute on your left, chute on your right, and then there's one up front. So you can, let me try to get this in here. So to open the one on your left, all you do is go over here, open, do the same on your right, same up front, and you can close them all by going like that. So very, very easy to use, and like I said, these things straight up move some air. So very excited to partner this up with this loader. And Billy Goat's made it pretty easy to do that for us. They've got a GOATOBERFEST fall promotion going on. Basically, they're celebrating their 50th year. So if you purchase a force blower, which is one of the walk-behind blowers, or the Z3000 blower and any debris loader, you can save quite a bit of money. I don't know the exact numbers on every combo, but I know that if you purchase a blower and a loader, that you can save some money. I think you can save up to $1,000, guys. So if you're in the market, definitely check that out. So this is the setup that we're going to be running this year for our fall cleanups. We'll have the loader on the dump trailer, we'll pull that with one of the dump trucks, and then we'll have the lawn care trailer with the blower on it, and then that'll either have the Z2 with the leaf plow on it, or it'll have the scag on it with the bagger, just depending on what kind of properties we're doing. So we'll probably have that blower regardless, and then we'll either have the leaf plow or the scag, depending on how severe the leaves are. So I think it's safe to say that we're set up for this year's leaf removal. Without a doubt, we're ready to rock and roll. Super excited to put these new pieces of equipment to use. But in order to do that, we got to get this trailer built. So let's go ahead and get this started. So the first thing I'll walk you guys through, I pretty much have all this written down. I can actually show you. I wrote it down here. But this is what we're going to use right here. This is going to be our pieces. So ignore all this stuff here and ignore the top. That was something different too. But we're going to have 18 pieces at 54 inches, 2 pieces at roughly 171 inches, 3 pieces at 89 inches, and then 2 pieces, those will be for the back door. I'm going to measure those once I get the sides on, and that was something I had to buy. So pretty much that's what we're going to be using, plus our 4x8 sheets, which those are just going to be cut to size. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to start in the front, and what we're going to need here is 4 pieces, 4 out of this 18, 54 inches. So that's the first thing that I need, those 4 pieces, and then I'm also going to need to go across the top. So that'll be coming out of my stake pockets here. You have stake pockets running all the way along the trailer. So 4 coming out of there, going up to the top, which is where we'll have our cross support. And that one is going to be 89 inches. So those are pretty much the first 4 pieces that I'm going to need. So I need 4 of these and 1 of these 89s to get me started. Then I'll have to cut a piece out of this sheet here. You lollygag on your phone? Come on.
First time they've ever done an animation. First time it's ever. No, that's the one. Oh, here it is, look. They'll show it again. It's the first time anyone's ever done the Michigan in a game.
Really?
Yep.
All right, guys, so we popped our line, the string line. Time to cut her down. All right, I already screwed one measurement up. That top board up there is not gonna be 89, it's gonna be 86. And I'll show you what ours is looking like from the front. So we have the boards going all the way to the top, and then we have this sheet coming all the way to the edge. So when we put our corner piece in here, it's gonna go up and we'll be able to screw from this sheet into the 2x4, and then we're gonna run this 86-inch piece right across the top there. It's actually not gonna be 86. Right across the top there, and then we'll be able to screw through from this 2x4 over into these 4 2x4s. What we've done in the past is had it sitting like this with the 2x4 running on the outside across the top, which looks good and everything, but as far as structural purposes are concerned, it doesn't really do anything because you don't have a good way to connect these 4 2x4s up to that top one. So by running the one across the top on the inside, like I said, we can sandwich the sheet here and have a really strong hold across the top. And then we'll tie in, we'll put in some corner brackets or another piece of 2x4, 2x6, something like that up here. But we'll tie in all of this front sheet with the side pieces. So that's what we're looking at for right now. And we'll put that inside piece on. We'll get this all screwed together, and then we'll move on to the sides. All right, for once in his life, Nick was right. We have to actually take 4 1/4 inches off this. So when we go up there and we have our sheets running down the side, they'll fit in. Otherwise, they're not gonna wanna butt all the way to the front. So we gotta account for that gap there too. Just like in the front, that sheet's gonna be running across this top rail with the 2x4s on the outside. So that sheet is gonna have to tuck up in there right up to that one. So we definitely have to account for that when we're cutting off here. We have 5/8 inch wood. So 4 1/4 inches is coming off. All right, so we got the front all put together and we're moving right along down the side. So the front final measurements, these front 4 were 54 inches. That big piece of sheet was a 4x8 sheet that we cut down to 89 inches. And then the inside piece was 84, the inside 2x4 up top was 84 3/4. So this is what it looks like when it's all put together. This end of this sheet meets the end of this 2x4, so we can put some screws up along here and make sure that this front piece is really solid when we're driving into the wind. So that's what we got there. And then like I said, like you guys saw, we had a 2x4 inside on the top, and we're gonna do the same thing running down here. So, and I bought some 14-foot 2x4s right here. So we'll be able to run, actually I bought 16 footers, I'm sorry, not 14, which I probably could have got away with 14 footers. Looking at it now, but I bought 16 footers. Thought I was gonna need a couple inches, but I think 14 would do you. But I got those so I can run all the way down this length of the trailer seamless on both sides on the top. That will make a difference, especially when we're gonna have a seam in this plywood here. We'll do something on the inside to put that together. I'll probably use like this here and stick it there just to pinch all that together. But moving right along, we'll put this back panel on real quick, which is gonna be roughly 6 feet. We'll put that on, and then And then we'll do that inside 2x4 very last. So we'll keep running just like this. All right, guys, we're getting her closed in. So, like I said, all of these uprights are 54 inches, and that gave us just enough to hang down the bottom of that, give us a little bit of support. We ended up throwing another one right here where our seams met, and I notched it out down there. I was just gonna run a 2x4 straight up and not even try to go in the stake pocket, but I did that just to give it a little bit of stability, which probably doesn't really need, but it's coming together really nicely and it is very stout, I will say that. We got this looking really nice. I'm happy with how that turned out, having that extra support. Coming over here, same story. So it's coming together really nicely. Getting ready to work on these back doors. So all those ones around here, 54 inches. That front one was 84 3/4, if my memory serves me correct. I've been taking a lot of measurements here. And then on these upper ones going all the way down, we just butted it up to that 2x4. And then I left just enough gap right there for the board that's gonna be stuck on the inside of these here. So when it's all said and done, it should fit up in there really tightly. At least that's the hope, and that's what we measured for. So we'll see how that works out, but I'm getting ready to start cutting these back doors now. We're gonna have to do some notching. Gonna have to notch around that. I'm gonna have to notch around this over here too, which I already had to do a little bit right there. Had to do it right there and right here on this corner. So back doors will be a little bit more tedious, I would think, but still a pretty quick process for the most part. Voila, just like that. So like I said, we had to do a little notching out here, notching out over here too. So there is a little gap, but we'll come up with something to close that gap. What I told Nick is we'll probably take like an old towel or t-shirt or something, cut a strip of it, and then like staple gun it coming down this side and do the same coming down this side so no dust can escape out of that gap. So we are pretty much done with the construction. Same thing over here. We'll do the same thing right there. And then there's a little gap right here, but that one, there's nothing you can do anything about because, and it somehow got a little bit off, but there's nothing you can do about that one because you got to be able to open the doors. So that's where we're at, and we're going to be mounting our loader, hopefully, right on this back door. So whenever we're ready to dump, we'll just swing it out of the way, put our pin in right there, swing the other door out of the way, we'll be able to dump and get right back on the road. So that is where we're at as of now. And I did put this support across the top right here. But that is the only main support that we have. We don't need it. This thing literally, if you try to move one of these walls, it shakes the whole trailer. So it is stout, that's for sure. And we're definitely gonna have to cut a hole for the loader somewhere in that door, but I don't know exactly where that's gonna be, and we won't know that until we get her mounted up. But that's what we got as far as our construction goes. And then for our tarp, I ordered one off of Amazon. I think it was like 8 foot by 16, I think is what it was. So it'll be a little bit wider than this, but it'll drape over there perfectly. So that's what we'll be rocking on our tarp. On Amazon, you can pretty much find any size tarp. So I just recommend going on there, finding one that is just a hair bigger than the area you're trying to cover, because you definitely want your tarp to drape over the front and the sides a little bit. If not, if it's the exact same size, you'll have leaves trying to shoot out all those cracks. So you definitely want it to drape down the sides a little bit. But this is what we got so far. So we're gonna paint her all black, get it looking good. I got some paint over here from friends at Lowe's, and that's what we'll be rocking. It was just some cheap exterior. I pretty much told them that I want the cheapest exterior paint that is decent. So that's what we got. Black, it's like a semi-gloss, I think is what we ended up going with. So paint and primer in one, so should go on pretty good. And some of this wood is used, as you can see from the inside, definitely. It was on last year's loader, and it's pretty obvious to see which pieces are new and which pieces are old. So the outside, I tried putting all the pieces that were on the inside last year back on the inside. So the outside looks pretty good. We'll just have to take the air compressor and blow off what little spider webs and little pieces of dust that are on there. But some of these pieces are new, some of these 2x4s are new, so those should soak up the new paint pretty good. So we're gonna get this guy painted up and probably touch the trailer up too, I think, before we are all said and done. I don't think we'll get to that today, but this trailer's pretty beat up. I think this is going on 5 years now that I've had it, so it's time to touch it up, give it a little love. And I want to go through all the lights and everything and make sure all that's working, which I'm pretty sure it is. But check all my connections, make sure nothing's corroded, make sure everything is connected properly, and we're fully ready for leaf season. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I feel like it's been forever since we worked on this project. It's been about 5 days since we got started and since everything that you saw. So the only thing that we've really done since then was we painted the box, which I showed you the paint, told you all that was going down, and then we welded the mount on the back, which went a little bit different than I had originally planned. And real quick, the reason why we had to take a break on this, we got a snowstorm, and I actually ended up in the hospital. I got 7 stitches on my arm, so we've been a little bit slow. But this is where we're at right now. So I originally said that the mount was gonna go over here on the driver's side door, which is where we had mounted it in the past, or mounted our old loader in the past. But we went with the passenger side. Nick made a good point. That's where you're gonna be pulling up to all your curbside pickups, or even once you clean it up, that's the side of the road that you're gonna be on. And I didn't think it was gonna work. I knew all that, but I didn't think it was gonna work originally because that's where the main latch is. But turns out the way that the gas can is, with this particular model, it still opens and closes. So it's gonna work out just fine. We're gonna have to extend the pin over there that actually holds the door open whenever you swing the doors open, which is when we don't, we'll have to do that. So we gotta extend that little pin. But other than that, everything worked out just fine. And I showed you guys the mount, showed you guys Nick doing some grinding on that. But that's basically how it all worked out. We have it roughly 2 inches wider than the loader frame itself. And that was enough to allow us to put these angles going up to the door. So turned out really sleek. That's the underside of it. But very solid stuff there. The only thing we have to worry about now is this door snapping off. So we're gonna be adding a hinge right here. We've already got 2 hinges. You got your one here, one down there, but we're gonna be adding one in the middle just for some extra support. That was kind of one of our main concerns was making sure that this thing was supported correctly. So that's pretty much where we're at now. We're gonna have to do a little working right here, because right where that 2x4 was supposed to go up, you can see the paint. That's right where the discharge for the loader goes into the trailer. So we're gonna have to just shorten that up, and then we're gonna have to cut out our door a little bit, but it is extended over the top of the trailer a couple inches. So we're gonna have to put some kind of deflector to shoot all that stuff down, or it's gonna tear our tarp up. So as of now, this is how we're looking, and we just set the loader on here and put our bolts in there. So that's pretty much where we're at. Got to cut a little bit of wood here, and for the most part, this is going to be done. Like I said earlier, I do want to touch up this trailer, but that's going to be down the road. We got some other important projects we got to work on. Be on the lookout for this guy in one of the next couple videos. She's almost done. So for now, this is what we're working on. All right, guys, here she is. We're all wrapped up for the most part. We got a couple little things to finish up. Got to paint this 2x4 here, touch up a few other spots of paint, and we got to make a deflector on that top piece. See that? Where it shoots into the trailer, it's a little bit taller than the trailer, so it would tear up our mesh tarp. Here's the one we ordered. Like I said, I ordered an 8x16 just so it's a little bit bigger. But we're gonna make a deflector so that doesn't rip our tarp. And that's about all she wrote. We got her all bolted down. We got our frame all painted up. We are gonna touch this trailer up at some point, but that's pretty much it. And then we gotta figure out how this tube is gonna be mounted up there. But I'll show you guys all that in the next video, that we're doing some leaf stuff, or that we have this machine close by. But that's pretty much what we're working with. And I added a nice little feature down here. 2 lights. I got one pointing up towards the tires and then one coming back kind of where I'm standing. So when we're sucking up piles at night, that'll definitely make things nice. And I put the switch right there. So pretty simple, but this thing will hold a lot of leaves and it's gonna suck them up fast with this 12-inch hose. So decided to put it to work, but that's what we're rocking. All right, guys, that's all we got for this one. I'll see you in the next one.